What's up, everybody? Soapbox Bill here with our next installment of DCember. I told you we'd get to something not Batman related, but instead it's Superman, the other big point man of the DC animated universe. So, Superman Doomsday. It's the retelling of the classic Death of Superman plotline. We've seen it before in the animated series and in the movies. The latest being Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So the question now becomes, is Doomsday better than Dawn of Justice? Yes, but only slightly. Only just barely. I can say without a doubt that this version of Doomsday is better than the cobbled-together Luthor-Zod clone that was in the recent live-action film. This version of Doomsday is true to its roots as an alien killing machine super soldier built with the same aesthetics as the original in the animated series. The movie came out back in 2007, pretty much a full decade before now, and it does show. The mid-era 2000s animation is not as great as animation that's come out since. And especially for the later DC animated movies, as we've seen in some of the other entries of this December. The design of Superman, specifically his face, for me, is a bit of a sticking point. He looks old. Like an old man with his face sagging. It doesn't remind me of Superman. It's like I would think that as John Kent, not Clark Kent. Speaking of Superman, Adam Baldwin's voice for the role of the Man of Steel, not one of my favorites. It's very dry, it doesn't have the same weight, and I've seen better Men of Steel. Some of this can be blamed on the writing, which is a little bit phoned in something that is, well, fixed in later installments of the DC animated films. The movie follows the classic Death of Superman plotline and Superman Returns, so not a whole lot new. Nothing really new that we haven't seen before. And honestly, the Death of Superman was better told in the Justice League animated series than even in this movie, with the weight and emotions of Superman's death being far greater than what was shown in this movie, even though that plotline didn't have Doomsday in it. In that one, at Superman's funeral, we got to see a full range of his friends, colleagues, fellow heroes, everyone from across the DC universe coming together to mourn the loss of one of the Titans, one of the greatest heroes. In this, we just got Lois Lane, Perry White, Lex Luthor. And that's pretty much it. And so we didn't get to see all of that. And the rest of the people were all just the nameless and faceless people of Metropolis. So emotional investment was a little lacking, in my opinion. The one exception to this lack of emotional investment is the turmoil Lois Lane feels over the course of the movie with the loss of Superman, deducing his identity herself, and then she literally gets confirmation of it at the end, and you can see the ecstatic look on her face when they finally embrace right before the credits roll. Not as much action can be seen in this movie as with the Batman films. There's only really two major fight scenes at the beginning with Doomsday, and then the final confrontation between Superman and a clone of him after his return. The choreography for these fights is very different from a Batman movie in that this is not a dance. This is a Mike Tyson punch punch out between heavyweights, careening through buildings, and just destruction and devastation. It's very much a Superman fight versus a Batman fight. But I've complained about the film and its faults long enough. Let's talk good things. The orchestration actually is one of the best things and the first thing that really jumped to me. The rendition of the Superman theme was particularly good and really welled up inside you and really got everything pumping. The background music during the fights added weight to them and kept you from just falling into a silent punch fest. For the first movie of DCember featuring Superman, this was not a strong showing, in all honesty, for the world's strongest man. Hopefully we'll get to better movies featuring the Man of Steel later throughout the month. So, final thoughts time. Is Superman Doomsday a good movie? Honestly, not really. Take it or leave it. Though better than Batman v Superman and only just, the story it tells has been told better elsewhere, and it's nothing new or a new version of it. It's just following the same old lines. While the animation is a noticeable improvement from the 90s animation used before, it's not as clean as most recent films and doesn't have the same level of polish of even that older style of animation. Well, the plot didn't hold me as well as this epic telling of this epic story should have. Skip it if you already know about the death of Superman's storyline, and even if you don't, there are better places to see it. While not bad, there are far better movies out there. And what will our next movie have in store for us? Maybe we'll see more familiar faces. Until then, I'll see you guys next time on DCember. Peace out.